Delaware Democratic Congresswoman and 2024 Senate candidate Lisa Blunt Rochester joins us now. She also serves as a co-chair of the Biden campaign. It's great to see you. So I don't know if you had a chance to hear that, Congresswoman, but we had Nicole Killian on just a moment ago interviewing an African-American man, a small business owner in Georgia, who said he was a Biden supporter in 2020, but couldn't commit to that now, in part because he believes his economic future is not only worse, but noticeably worse than it was under President Trump. How does the campaign deal with a reality like that?
Well, first of all, Major, thank you so much for having me on for Super Tuesday and for President Biden and Vice President Harris. This is a Super Tuesday indeed. To your point, we as a campaign have said from the very beginning, we know this is going to be a tough campaign. This is going to be a difficult campaign. We are literally coming out of a pandemic. And as the person commented, the economy, inflation was seriously raging. And this president has been able to work to make sure that we are safe, that we've seen record numbers of jobs created. We've seen inflation going down. And while we know that the indicators are good, we feel people's pain. And so we're working to make sure that everyone knows that this is a President Biden, who ensured that our seniors have their insulin prices capped at $35. This is a president who worked to pass legislation that not only will help save our planet, but also will lower our energy costs. This is a president who is making sure that even for all populations, but particularly in the Black community, we've seen the lowest unemployment rate, highest number of small businesses created, largest investments in historical Black colleges and universities. And so for us, we don't take one vote for granted. We're going to work to the very end to make sure that people know, see, and feel the impacts of this administration and all the work that the Biden-Harris administration has put in, but not only talk about what we've done, but also a focus and a vision for the future that also includes our freedoms, including reproductive freedom, including the access to making sure that all of us can get to the ballot and not have restrictions put on us, and even just making sure that we as a country still have a democracy.
Congressman, I'm glad you brought that last point up, because polling data also shows that voters are uncertain what the next 4 years of a Biden presidency would be. They're not really sure what his vision for those next 4 years are. Can you shorthand it for us?
Yeah. Well, I love one of the things that the president says, which is, let's finish the job. I mean, there are major investments that we've made in this country to move us forward. And so, and those things he wants to continue to do, whether it is making sure that we continue to protect our planet. That's a priority. Whether it is making sure that we, again, I talked about freedoms and our protections. That includes voting rights, which is still something that is very much important to this administration. The continuation of growing the economy. I get the opportunity to work with him on things such as strengthening our supply chains, which also lowers the cost of things. And so this administration will continue to work on things that make life better for everyday American people. His philosophy is that this economy should really be about working from the bottom up and the middle out, making sure that everyone has access. And that is really important. And I think what you will see I'm not going to preempt the State of the Union, but during the State of the Union, I think you will see and hear some more of the vision. But the great thing about Super Tuesday and even the past results, the first early primaries, is that despite all that we hear in terms of these polls, the best indicator of what people are going to do in this election is what they've already done, which is come out and support Joe Biden. 90%. We look at places like South Carolina. We look at even New Hampshire, where he wasn't on the ballot. He got 60%. And so, again, we're going to make sure that people know and see that we're moving forward, and that the contrast to that is the chaos and confusion of the last president. And I served under that president as well. So I know the difference between getting stuff done and talking about it. I know the difference between working for all people and working for some people. And this president, President Joe Biden, has made our country and each of our families more safe, more secure, and we are helping to lower the cost for them every day.
Congresswoman, picking up on that point about safe and secure, independents and Republicans do not agree with you on the issue of immigration, decidedly disagree with you that the nation is safer and more secure under President Biden's immigration policies. How do you turn that around?
You know, I think one of the ways you do it is through leadership. And we have a president who has pulled together members of the Senate in a bipartisan way to look at a real solution to the border. But again, back to the contrast and what you can see on the other side from President Trump is someone who has actually said, don't work on this, don't fix the problem, because maybe he's looking at it for political reasons. I don't know. But I know one thing, President Biden is really a problem solver. And that's what he has done. He has said, let's come together as Democrats and Republicans, put something forward, and let's get stuff done. That's the hallmark of who he is.
Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester, thank you so much for your time.